So moving on, question number 5 comes in from Arnie. Arnie says, my wife and I are considering going into buy-to-let, but with all the new legislation coming in, is it worth the hassle? Also, are there any laws in place to protect landlords if a tenant refuses to pay? I've watched a show on TV, and this seems to be a common problem. We've been given details from a friend for a good letting agent who will take care of everything for us if we go ahead. Would you say it is still a good investment opportunity? Okay, Arnie, thank you for your question. Really appreciate you also being part of our WiggyWam community here and for sending that question in. It's an interesting one to play around with at the moment with buy-to-let, because if you read a lot of the forums online of people that are in the investment world and have been landlords, particularly the ones that have been in the market for a long time, a lot of them are getting fed up with the what seems to be a constant onslaught of legislation changes against landlords and the impact that is having on their business and the amount of costs that they're now attracting into their business, and also the issues around what they're able to deduct against their monthly income. And one of the things they're not allowed to deduct anymore, of course, is the cost of the monthly mortgage unless the property is held in a limited company. And that can also have impacts in terms of ownership of the property, how easy it is to transfer ownership to another party, how much deposit you have to put down in order to buy that particular property, and then, how, of course, how you get your profits out of that company and into your own pocket. So there is a lot of pros and cons involved in all of this. The answer I would give you on this one, Arnie, is it depends on your personal financial situation. At the moment, and this has probably been the case for the last, 60, 80, 100 years, is that the landlord-tenant legislation and scenarios tends to go through a bit of a cycle where sometimes legislation is in the tenant's favour, then it's in the landlord's favour, and it kind of swings back and forth between the two. The issue that I think the government are going to have very soon is finding enough properties for tenants to go into, because a lot of landlords are getting out of the game, which is causing this contraction in the number of properties that are available, which means the monthly rent that tenants are having to pay is going up, because there's less supply, more demand. That forces prices one way, of course. So the opportunity is actually quite good if you look at the numbers. If you're a cash buyer, I would suggest. If you're in a position where you're having to borrow to make this work, then it needs a little bit more thought as to what you're actually financially going to gain, because a lot of people get into buy-to-let with the misnomer that the property market doubles every 7 to 10 years. And that's not always the case. Yes, over the long term, the market has gone up. But if you look at what happened in 2007, 2008, for example, the market dropped like 20% in certain areas, or maybe more. And so if you're buying in 2007 and then the property market drops off a cliff the following year, well, where does that leave you? So these are the sorts of questions that you need to ask yourself. What happens if something untoward happens that I'm not prepared for, I'm not ready for? What will I actually be allowed to deduct against my income? That's a conversation to have with an accountant who knows your personal financial situation, because I don't know whether you're both earning independently, whether you're both retired, whether you are in a position to have other people come in as a consortium, perhaps, and invest in buying property together. These are all sorts of things that can go on to maybe make your investing journey a little bit more advantageous. What you might want to consider is buying a property, doing it up and selling it, okay, and both of you using your capital gains tax allowance that you get every single year to deduct against the cost of against the profit that you've made on the property, and therefore, pocketing extra cash every single year as a result of doing that. Obviously, if you're going to buy now, if the market drops by 20%, again, are you going to recover your investment? These are the sorts of things that you need to think about and buy well. My honest advice on it, if you're going to go into buy-to-let, you need to think very carefully about it all. But not only that, get some investment education behind you. I can recommend a number of different sources across the UK where people can help you with this. It is one of those industries, unfortunately, where there's a lot of sharks involved and a lot of charlatans, which is one of the reasons why I got out of the industry, because I couldn't stand that people were being parted with their life savings and they weren't getting what they thought they were investing into. Okay, thankfully that was not through the organisations that I was tied with, but there were other players in the same industry, unfortunately, who were letting people down substantially. So you need to be very, very careful. Are there laws in place to protect the landlords if a tenant refuses to pay? Well, yes, there are, but you have to go through the process of evicting the tenant, and that can be time consuming. It can be costly. It can involve court visits and God knows what else. And as I say, at the moment, the legislation is in favour of the tenant more so than the landlord at the moment. So you want to work alongside a very good letting agent. If you've got details of one from a friend, I would say definitely use them, get involved with them, work alongside them, and they will help and support you through the journey. And they'll be able to handle most of that other work for you so that you're not left in the lurch of having to deal with it as well. Okay. It is a common problem, perhaps in certain areas where tenants won't pay. There are other areas where I've had tenants in a property for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and they've been no problem. They paid the rent on time every single month, and they've lived in it and treated it as their own home because it is. Okay, so there's a lot of pros. There are some cons. Those cons are getting greater at the moment. It is a balancing act. Uh, would I? What would I do if I was going back into it? I would change my strategy big time if I was going back into investing, Arnie. I would flip more properties first, which means buy it, do it up and sell it, buy it, do it up and sell it. Or if you're really smart, do it up and sell it without buying it. But that's a conversation for another day. So yeah, I would flip more and bank more cash rather than buying well and then refinancing and then renting it out. Okay, that would be the one thing I would do differently. Um, you can explore a couple of those options. And again, if you want more in-depth conversation around that, Arnie, we have a number of videos actually within the WiggyWam platform that you can access, which will give you a bit of a background in property investment in terms of finding the right property, what you need to be looking for, how to make it work for you, and all the rest of it. And those videos are free. All you need to do is go to wiggywam.co.uk and sign up to get one of your get a free profile there. And if you look at the learning center on the website there, you'll be able to access all of those different training videos, which will guide you through how to get started in property. And as I say, if you need some more resources, if you want a mentor or you want somebody else to hold your hand, I've got some very good friends still in the industry who will be delighted to help you out and give you all of the up-to-date information on how best to go about building a portfolio. All right. So hope that helps, Arnie. Thank you so much indeed for your question. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas as well, and look forward to hearing from you again in the future. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that draws our webinar to a close today. Thank you so much again for all of your questions and for joining in and for your incredible support over the course of the last, well, I suppose 90 days or so that we've been running these webinars. It's really wonderful to be able to sort of share some help and support and advice to various different people and help you along with your property journey, because I know how daunting and complicated it can seem when you're getting first started getting into property. And I remember one of the most humbling experiences for me was, I think it was 2006, when I'd spent a number of years in the property industry as an estate agent and also trained to become a surveyor. And I went to my very first property investment education seminar, right? And I was like, yeah, it's dead easy to make money in property, right? This is all you need to do, buy it, do it up and sell it. And I got introduced to this entirely different world of not only just personal development education, but also different strategies, techniques, and tools that you can use to build a property portfolio that nobody had ever showed me before. And I was like, oh my goodness. And that was, as I say, one of the start of my journey to realizing how much I don't know as an individual. And yeah, it's been really interesting to change my life since 2006 to become more widely read and more studying of realizing that I don't know virtually anything as far as this world is concerned. There is so much to learn, so much to understand, so much to get our heads around. But that, as I say, has led me on this journey of learning a huge amount of stuff, which I'm now able to share with as many people as possible through these webinars and through these questions that we send out every week to people. And so I greatly appreciate every single one of you for being part of our WiggyWam community, for submitting your questions each week, for taking the time to watch our webinars, and also to share these questions and these webinars with your friends and family. It really does help us to reach more and more people There's some incredibly exciting things coming in 2023 as far as WiggyWam is concerned. So I hope you'll join us on that journey. Please, please, please do submit your questions. We are going to continue running these webinars throughout. We're going to do one between Christmas and New Year, and then we're going to launch into 2023 with a lot more on the webinar content side of things. So any questions, concerns, comments that you have, please send them through to us. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk. That's happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk. You can also submit information to us via our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. That's wiggywam.co.uk. Or you can find us on Twitter, which is at wiggywam_UK, at wiggywam_UK. And again, submit any questions, comments, feedback to that. Feel free to consider sharing this with your friends and family so that we can expand our reach and reach more people. And if there's anything that we can do to help you with your property journey, please do let me know. Final mention to our £50,000 Christmas giveaway. If you want to take part in that, just shoot me an email. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk with the subject line Christmas giveaway. That's happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk with the subject line Christmas giveaway. And I would look forward to welcoming you into our 12-week roadmap journey in the new year, which will help you get at least 20% additional revenue in your business or build you up to be a superstar player if you're an individual working for a company and you want to take part in that as well. So we're doing our bit to try and help you guys and girls. Wishing you all the very best for Christmas, whatever it is you decide to do. Hope you have an amazing time. Hope it is the Christmas that you want, and it's a nice time to reflect and take some time for you and just reflect on the year that's gone and the one that's coming, and may it bring you all that you wish for yourself and others. All right. Looking forward to it, guys and girls. Thank you so much indeed. Have a lovely Christmas and New Year, and I will see you very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.